You see them everywhere, right? On menus, posters, product packaging, those little black and white squares are just part of our daily lives now. But here's the thing. Behind that super simple scan, there's been this massive evolution happening, turning them into some seriously powerful tools.
For a long time, yeah, that's pretty much all they were, just a quick way to get to a website. But honestly, that technology is ancient history compared to what's possible today. And that's not some far-off what-if scenario. It is happening right now. The humble QR code has grown up. It's become this intelligent, interactive tool that's totally changing how we connect with brands and products. So let's get into how this all works. So how do we make the jump from a simple link to a smart tool? Well, the leap from the old tech to the new really just comes down to one fundamental difference. Okay, so you have the old school static QR code. Think of it like this. The destination URL is literally baked into the pattern. It's fixed. You can't change it, and it gives you zero data. But a dynamic code? That's a whole different ballgame. It points to a special short URL that acts like a gateway. A business can change where that gateway sends you anytime they want. But, and this is the key part, that gateway logs every single scan, collecting super valuable data along the way. That one little change, well, it unlocks everything else we're about to talk about. So one of the most powerful things these dynamic codes can do is understand your location. And this is what transforms them from a simple shortcut into a marketing intelligence powerhouse. So how does this location tracking actually work? Well, there are two main ways. The first is IP-based. It uses your network's IP address to get a general idea of your city. It's about 50 to 70% accurate, and it doesn't need your permission. But if a brand needs to be super precise, they can ask to use GPS-based tracking. Now, this can pinpoint your location within just a few meters, but, and this is important, it always requires you to explicitly say yes. And why do they want this data so badly? Simple, because it works. A whopping 90% of marketers say that using location data has directly boosted their revenue and how customers engage with them. It lets them stop guessing and start delivering stuff that's actually relevant to you right where you are. And this isn't just theory. Listen to Katie Dyson from DRMG. She says this data is a total game changer for targeting. Just knowing where people are scanning helps businesses make smarter decisions on everything from their digital ads to the mailers they put in your physical mailbox. But it's not all about marketing. This same technology is becoming an absolutely critical tool for security and for fighting a multi-billion-dollar problem, counterfeit goods. Building a secure system isn't about doing 100 different things perfectly. Research shows it's a classic case of the 80-20 rule. The vast majority, we're talking 80%, of a system's success in fighting fakes comes from getting just 4 things right. Having unique, random code content, making sure the scans are fast, building in error correction for when codes get damaged, and tracking the geolocation of the scans. You focus on those key areas, and you've got a system that's truly secure. And for things like event tickets or secure access, security is getting even smarter with something called temporal QR codes. These aren't static images at all. They are live, constantly changing codes designed to make taking a screenshot or sharing them totally impossible. The process here is just brilliant in its simplicity. First, a brand new code is generated every single second. That means a screenshot or even a video of the code is useless almost instantly. Then, once you're scanned in, the code just vanishes from your device, so you can't pass it back to a friend to use again. It's a really simple, elegant solution for secure, one-time access. Now, building on these ideas of security and value, the next evolution is about changing the entire relationship between a brand and a customer. See, brands are finally realizing they can't just expect to get your attention for free anymore. And the numbers here, they are just staggering. A standard QR code, with no reward attached, is lucky to get a 2 to 5% engagement rate. But offer a small reward, a little discount, some loyalty points, maybe exclusive access, and that number jumps to between 15 and 30%. That's not just a small bump, that's a whole different universe of performance. So this opens the door to these amazing multi-step journeys. It's not about a single scan anymore. It's about building an actual relationship. The first scan might be a small reward for creating a profile, the next one a bit more for taking a quick quiz. The value, for both you and the brand, it just compounds with every single interaction, turning what was a single scan into a rich data set and, hopefully, a loyal customer. And now you layer AI on top of all this, and things get really interesting. A single QR code,
printed on a poster, can give you a completely different experience depending on whether you scan it at 8 a.m. on your way to work or at 7 p.m. on a Saturday at the mall. The AI instantly analyzes all that context and serves up the most relevant offer, just for you.
Of course, with all this data collection comes a massive, massive responsibility. You can't use these powerful tools without building a foundation of transparency and trust.
And the rules for building that trust are pretty clear. Brands have to be totally transparent about what they're collecting and why. They need to get your explicit okay for precise GPS tracking. They have to comply with data privacy laws, make sure their landing pages are secure, and maybe most importantly, only collect the data they actually need. It's not about grabbing everything they can, it's about a fair, honest exchange of value.
So the next time you point your phone at one of those little squares, just think about what's really going on. You're probably not just opening a web page anymore. You might be verifying where a product came from, getting a personalized offer based on the time of day. We're starting this cool interactive experience that actually values your attention. The simple link is dead. The conversation has just begun.